Okay, so when you download from Qualtrics or SurveyMonkey or anything, there's usually two different options. You can download numeric choices or you can download text choices. I recommend numeric choices if you have the option. And what that does for you is it helps you with the data cleaning because this is the first step. We need everything to be in a number form. Specifically, when we look through this, the only values that I see right here are because it was a text option. So they had to type in what their degree was. And I can code those as well, or I can just leave them. For now, I want everything else, as much as possible, to be in a number form. And then of course I have a code book somewhere so that I know for question 6, what does a 2 mean? For question 7, what does a 4 mean? Over here, I know that these are scale items, and so a 4 is a lot of anxiety, a 1 is no anxiety, and 2s and 3s are kind of part of that scale. But for others, I don't necessarily know what they are. Maybe these are category choices of demographic information, so I need to figure out what is question 6 and what does a 6 mean. When you download it with a text choice, you can already see there's just text everywhere that we have to kind of clean up. So I'm going to give you a couple of hints with this. The easiest way to do it is through find and replace. Actually, the easiest way to do it is in R, but I'm not teaching that because it's kind of a crazy process, but once you know it, it's super easy. You can also do some data cleaning in SPSS, but I tend to like Excel better just because I can see it and I feel like I have more control. When you are reverse coding items, it is way easier in R or SPSS, but that's a different video. So let's just do gender because this one's easy. In this data set, I do not have any trans or other. It is just male and female for these responses. So I'm going to highlight this column. By the way, if you are not familiar with Excel, you can do Shift Control down arrow to highlight the whole column. You can do the same thing, Shift Control over to highlight a whole row. Then I'm going to go to the home page and I'm going to go to this Find and Select. I can also do Control F and that will pull it up. And I can go to Replace over here. So in this case, I'm going to replace female with a 0 and replace all. And then I'm going to not leave this screen, change it to male and replace male with 1, replace all, and I'm done, sort of. So I now have all of 1s and 0s in this column. I need to jump over to my code book and record my numbers right now. So with the code book, here's another hint. You can make this column just generally wider, Control Shift down, highlight all of them, and I'm going to go up here to the home page and hit Wrap Text. And that just kind of puts everything in a little bit more readable stance. So I just did gender, and I'm going to say female is 0, male is 1. And of course, fix your typos as you go. And I'm going to go through and do it with all of them. Here's another hint though, depending on how your survey worked. So I have an anxiety scale. This question 3, there are 10 questions. And I have 1 through 4. So 2s and 3s did not have a tag on them. It wasn't like strongly disagree, disagree, agree. You know, it was just 1 is no anxiety, 4 is very much anxiety. Where do you fall? Are you could be a 2 or 3. So that's why 1 has words and 4 has words. So what I can do is highlight this whole column. You can technically for this one highlight everything because no other item has a no anxiety situation. But I tend to do kind of question by question. So I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to go back up here to find and replace. And now I can do all of these items together. So I can just type in very much anxiety, and you get the point, and say I actually want that to be a 4, and go through and you can change all of the items at once. So this is extremely convenient when you have a lot of items with a strongly agree to disagree. You can do all of that cleaning in one setting. But again, even with these, we want to kind of go through and make sure that we know what our scale is. So I would say anxiety, 1 to 4, higher is more anxiety. Or you can actually type in disagree equals, strongly disagree equals 4, disagree equals 3, whatever, you end up coding it. It doesn't matter, but you want to know what is coded with what and what does a higher number mean. So this is kind of finishing out your code book and your data cleaning.